Hey everybody, Pastor Vern with your daily update for September 30th, 2020, as we come to the end of September with some cooler weather. And as we look forward in what's coming up, we have church conference coming up here in November. We have to finish getting prepared for that fairly soon. We've got some things coming up that will lead us into the holiday season. What the holiday season is going to look like this year, still hard to tell. But, we'll be having Thanksgiving coming up before too long. I know it sounds like a long ways off, but when you're preparing for things, you got to get a little bit ahead of the game. And also Advent before too long. And one thing that is exciting to me this year about Advent coming up is that Advent begins the new Christian year. And we start with the story of Jesus's birth once again. But as we start with a new Christian year, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to let 2020 go. And so that'll be an exciting time as we prepare for that celebration. Today we're going to talk about Second Peter. It's written differently than First Peter, even though most scholars will agree is probably both of them were written by Peter. Peter is now coming to the end of his ministry time because he's gonna be martyred for his faith. It's told that Peter was crucified upside down on a cross, maybe an X-shaped cross, because he did not feel worthy to die in the same way as Jesus died on the cross in the fashion we are used to. And that was by his request that when he was martyred, that's how it be done. Because what's happening is Nero is losing grip on the empire, and so he's starting a full-blown persecution of the Christians as part of the process of trying to hold on to power. And it's kind of it's kind of a power grab or a survival mode in which the Christians fall into a very, very difficult place. We talked about First Peter talked a lot about suffering. Well, had a lot to do with what was going on politically at the time. So where we go here is Peter is moving into a rebuke and a warning. What has happened is that in the first one, he talked about how the faithful can persevere. And now he puts out a warning to those who are weak in their faith, but not so much that as people who are using the faith for false teaching and leading people in the wrong direction. There was a lot of false doctrine out there, a lot of false teachers. There was a lot of folks who were trying to use faith as a political tool at that time. To lead people in a direction that would either be pro-Rome or anti-Rome. Just a lot of really messy politics going on that is affecting the church. Because what happened is there's been people who's either came into the church in a faithful manner and have turned because they are frightened of what's happening, or else they have come in with the idea of subversion within the church to bring their doctrine in and their false teachings in rather than what Christ would have us believe and teach and share amongst each other. So we could break Second Peter. It's a short book, about 3 chapters. It's not an uplifting read. I tell you what, because there's a lot of warning and there's a lot of pessimism, I guess, for people who are waverers, who are not jumping into faith with their whole heart, or else trying to subvert it. So it can be broke into probably 3 categories. What do I have here? I got moral corruption, and how to safeguard yourself against that. Doctrine corruption. The safeguards of that, and the victory over corruption, and the safeguards of that, and the safeguard is the same for all of them. The safeguard is remembrance of the true teachings of Christ and remembrance of his acts on behalf of God and for his people. That is what really the safeguard is a true and faithful remembrance of the events that God had put into place to bring us into this relationship with him. All right. Well, for the last day of September, I say take good care of yourselves, watch out for others, and be safe. Bye.